What is up, everyone? I hope you all are doing well and welcome to the video. I have not recorded a YouTube video in quite a while and pretty excited to continue back into making this long form content because I feel like that's the only way to really get the full message across. Whereas on platforms like TikTok, Reels, Shorts, like you really can't get everything with context in there. So I'm pretty excited for this. This is exactly what I say every single time I take a break from YouTube videos and come back into it. But let's head right into the video for today. It's a pretty interesting topic and somewhat, I would say, controversial or necessary to speak about in today's world and today's society. Self-care and self-love now is defined by skincare products, skincare routines, watching Netflix, taking a break, eating junk food or just like snacks or something. And all of these things, well, first of all, let me say something about the skincare stuff. I understand that it falls under this umbrella of self-love and self-care. What I don't understand is why don't we inherently do this regardless? Like, we should be consistently taking care of our skin to begin with. So I don't know why like it falls under that realm where people just do it like sometimes but not like consistently, and it just doesn't make sense to me because that's something we should be doing consistently, taking care of ourselves. That's also part of the reason why I have issues with like self-care activities per se, because a lot of people label it and do them very inconsistently, which bothers me a lot. Because if it's self-care, if it's about self-love, shouldn't we be doing these things on a consistent basis? Shouldn't this be like a regular part of our routines? And if it is for you, then that's great. But from what I see, from my experiences with people I know, from the experiences, from the shit that I see on social media, it seems like it's more of like that fad where people, you know, like once a week or something, they'll go on social media, they'll post, oh, self-care day, like I'm doing this. I feel like we should be taking care of ourselves on a daily basis, no matter what it is, or like which outlet it is through, what kind of activity it is, it doesn't matter, but we should be doing that on a daily basis. Now, the examples that I listed earlier on, you know, like eating unhealthy foods, snacks, watching Netflix, taking a break, you know, taking a night off from doing or from like working on your goals or something. Now, all of that is fine, but you got to realize that all those things are temporary pleasures. Most of those things are just giving you a quick dopamine hit, which makes you feel good in that moment, in that particular moment, for a few minutes, for a couple hours, maybe if it's, you know, it lasts that long. But overall, it doesn't help you in anything that's long term. So how is that fostering self-love? If you have any thoughts on this, let me know in the comments below. But I personally believe that one thing that our society is like shying away from or like going away from is the fact that real self-care and real self-love is really hard. It's hard work. It's not supposed to be easy. If it's easy, I don't think it really categorizes itself as self-care and self-love, and I'll tell you why in the next few minutes. It's hard because you're supposed to do the things that are genuinely good for you mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, even when you don't feel like doing those things and you feel tired and exhausted from the rest of your day. Is to do those activities even though you feel uncomfortable in that moment and it's hard in that moment. You know that in the long run, in the next few hours, next few weeks, next few years, that's what's going to propel you into finding a deeper meaning and a deeper sense of purpose of your life and your goals. Realize that self-care is not easy. I'm going to keep saying this throughout the video. It's not easy. It's not supposed to be easy. Anything that's worth having in this life is hard. You have to put in some sort of work for it. And if you can get away with it without putting in a lot of work, you got to reconsider, did it actually help you? Or did you just mindlessly go through it? Perhaps you didn't mindlessly go through it, but realize that if something was easy, how much did it really help you? I genuinely believe that if you don't do hard things, especially on the days that you don't feel like it, you're not going to find self-love. You're not going to find self-acceptance. You're not going to find a deeper sense of purpose and meaning in your life. You're not going to be finding your passion or goals like that. If you don't hold yourself accountable and develop the habit of discipline to follow through on the days that you don't feel like it, you're not going to be able to create the life that you want for yourself. I'm telling you, it's hard. It's not easy. I believe discipline is the strongest form of self-love and self-acceptance. I'm trying to develop that myself. I mean, of course, I fall through at times because I'm only human. I make mistakes. But what's more important is how much you learn from those mistakes and how you decide to keep going. If you decide to give up and stay down, then that's a conscious choice that you're making. And really think about that. Is that self-care? Is that really truly how you're going to love yourself? Is that truly how you're going to realize your goals? The things that you say that you want to do for yourself by taking the night off, by watching Netflix, by binge watching Netflix rather. Now, when I talk about discipline, of course, I don't mean that you got to put yourself down when you miss certain things or you got to talk negatively to yourself. Not at all. That's the complete opposite of what discipline is supposed to be. But realize that holding yourself accountable is an act of long-term kindness. I'm gonna say that one more time. Holding yourself accountable is an act of long-term kindness, because even though in that moment that conversation is hard because you have to be raw and honest with yourself that you're not following through on the shit that you say you want to do, and it may not feel kind, it may not feel nice to speak about that with yourself. Long term, that's the kindness you need. And long term, that's the kindness you deserve, because your future self is going to thank you for having those conversations in the past. Your future self is going to thank you for taking action early on. Your future self is going to thank you for having those uncomfortable conversations and being unkind in that moment so you can achieve that long-term kindness. I feel like over the past few months, my mindset has changed so much. And if I go back into a few months ago, in that moment, I thought that my mindset has changed so much from, months ago before that. And it's interesting because that's what happens when you try to keep learning and you try to keep pushing. You become the more you look back, the more you're like, wow, I can't believe I used to do that. And I'm at this point where I'm doing something that's completely different, and I'm learning new things. I'm developing new habits. I'm developing new routines. It's crazy. The more you try to focus on yourself, the more you try to improve, the more unrecognizable you become in a good way over the course of time. And you can look back at that time and see how you developed. You can see where you came from, and it's so humbling. It's such a humbling feeling and experience. It's humbling to realize that I came from a time where I used to mindlessly go about doing things, hang out with people all the time just so I could get away from my thoughts, try to please other people by doing the things that they like so I could be part of a social group. It's crazy. I mean, it's just insane. And now that was years ago though. And if I'm looking a few months back, I had habits that I never thought I could drop. Just until a couple of weeks ago, I used to think that I couldn't read books because my focus, I didn't have that much focus. I didn't have the attention span for it. And I started reading 10 pages a day. I finished a book last month. I can't even believe that. I'm telling you, focus. That's real self-love is not easy. It's really hard. Real self-care is really hard. And the modern day society is pushing modern day pleasures onto us, which is distracting us from the real issues at hand. It's distracting us from facing our insecurities. It's stopping us from realizing what our goals and passion really are, because it's tuning us out of touch with our inner selves. We're now more attuned to the frequency of society and what social media has to put out than what we truly believe internally deep down. I mean, dude, if you stuck this far into the video, first of all, I really appreciate you so much. And that's honestly, that's a sign that you actually genuinely want to change things in your life. Otherwise, you would have just gone, you would have clicked away from the video within the first 10-15 seconds. Take this as a sign that it's your time to change certain things so you can level up in your life, whatever that may look like for you. I'll say this one more time. Self-love and self-care is not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be really hard. It's supposed to be uncomfortable as fuck. It's supposed to be challenging, and it's supposed to push you to your limit, and it's supposed to make you feel why am I doing this? Should I be even doing this? It's supposed to make you feel those things. And if you're not feeling those things, then that means you're not partaking in things that are going to help you improve, that are going to help you genuinely take care of yourself physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally. I feel like there's so much more in my head, but I think I'll leave the video at this. And if you want to see another part for this, let me know in the comments below. I'll definitely be sure to record another part. But I want to leave you with this. Do the things that are hard. Do the things that make you uncomfortable. Those are the things that are going to help you grow. And even though those things don't fall under the society's ideas and expectations of what self-care and self-love looks like, trust and believe that that is what's going to help you grow. And you'll see it with your own eyes. You'll see it in a few weeks, in a couple years. Forget couple years, you'll see it in a few months. But you have to do the things that are hard. You have to do the things that are uncomfortable, especially on the days that you don't feel like it. I genuinely promise you, your future self is going to thank you for it. Anyways, if you made it this far into the video, I just want to say I appreciate you so much and thank you for tuning in. If you got something out of the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, what are you doing, bro? Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I drop shorts every single day. I'm going to start dropping more videos every single day. Peace.